Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, aliens, predators, and everything else in between, welcome back to the 42 podcast. Where as always, to my left, your good friend and mine, Mr. Ryan. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good, Jacob. How are you?
Oh, just a day. Just a day, so...
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Just kind of get through it.
Yeah, I have that feeling like every day.
Like, we're moving in about 6 weeks, so the whole...
You are?
Yeah, it's just here in town.
Oh, okay.
With where my wife works now, or
Right.
where our house is, just isn't a good spot for it, for her commute especially. So we're moving to the north side of town, because right now we're on the south side of town. But,
Even colder.
yeah. But you know how it is. It's just... Moving sucks.
Moving sucks, dude. Moving's terribly stressful.
Yeah, we're trying to get, like making all the lists, like, okay, what do we need? We need to call the water
Everything.
company. We need to call the gas company. And the thing that sucks the most is I'm having to give up my Verizon Fios, which kills me.
Oh, I would have to be like, honey, you're just gonna have to drive some. It's just these
And this
sacrifices we make.
like right now we're in a house, but the apartments we're going to, they're pretty big. They're 3-bed, 2-bath, like 1,200 square feet.
Wow.
And like
How much?
$925.
Wow.
And it's like $600 cheaper than what we're paying right now. So,
Nice.
they're not as
Still, like,
it's not as nice, and it'll kind of suck. Even though I don't really use the yard all that much, it kind of sucks not having the buffer between the neighbors. But whatever.
you'd be surprised. You'll probably like it a lot.
Yeah, and it's like
Apartments are awesome
it's like
for
an
single.
old school where like there's like a door into the apartments, and then like you walk inside the building to get to the doors of the other apartments. Unlike a lot of the apartments down south where the doors face out.
Right, like you walk up some stairs to your own door.
Right.
Or you go underneath the other person's porch into your own door down here.
I was just sad because they have basement level apartments, and I couldn't get one. I was so sad. Like they have the half windows. I'm like, I'm gonna pretend like I'm in Harry Dresden all the time.
That would have been awesome, actually.
Yeah, but we do have a ground level, so we don't have to worry about like jump around.
Groceries.
Yeah. Groceries.
Or moving.
Yeah.
It makes moving better.
Yeah, it does. So
Fuck
we're
moving a
doing
couch.
that, and but that means we gotta like sell shit, and it's just it's a painful process.
Yeah, no, I
And it's an
understand.
expensive process. Yeah, we're gonna save money in the long term, but like
Right now.
the U-Haul and everything else, and all the deposits you got to make again before you get your other deposits back. It's a
Yeah,
shitty.
like what does your apartment make you do? Did you get to do like first and last months?
I think it's just first months.
Yeah, and then like
Well,
did you do a security deposit or no?
Well, it's first and last month. The last month's the security deposit,
Right.
which was tough because the rent on this house was $1,500, right? And it was so we had first and last month, so we had to come up with 3 G's.
That's actually hard to do. Like even if you make like $2,000 a week, like getting that last like $1,000 is like impossible. It feels like, and if you make like $600 a week, good luck.
But
Good luck.
yeah, it is what it is. This is the 30th episode. We are
Da-da-da-da!
hereby triple legit.
Triple legit. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
triple legit.
Wow, what's up?
Yeah,
Triple legit.
I
I feel like we should have a gang sign.
but they won't be quad legit, and that just gets weird. And you gotta have both hands, and eventually you're going to have to start using your toes. It just doesn't work.
Okay, all right.
Unless you start using like Roman numerals like LV bitches.
You are a nerd. That's like
Wait, there you go.
that's like something like one of those nerd core guys would do.
There you go. There you go. Speaking of, the guys from I Fight Dragons are gonna be in Pittsburgh in 2 months. I'm so excited. Like,
You're going?
I want to. It's like super cheap. It's like $10 at some bar here in
Fuck yeah,
Pittsburgh.
go do it, man. Get in there. That's gonna be a blast, I bet.
Oh yeah, their music's a lot of fun. So
Yeah, it's just good, happy It'd be good to get drunk too, I guess. You know.
Oh yeah. So, Ryan had some ideas for changing up the podcast a little bit, maybe giving it a bit more structure, a bit more flow, because let's be honest, we're really hit and miss with the flow.
Hey. Okay, let's be honest. You're right.
I would probably say we're going to put in a loose structure, but if, the whims take us somewhere, we're just going to go with it.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna hold ourselves to anything, like strictly, like we're gonna get in trouble or something. Because tangents are gonna be things that happen.
They are. But probably, we'll actually have like a news section where we're talking like future
Modern
shit
day,
like we
like-
always do.
Like what happened? Current events. I think we should do like a current events.
Current events. Yeah.
Right. Like what's going on in the news? What's going on? Let's maybe we can get some hashtags out of it. Try to up our social presence a little bit. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also think we should do a segment about the future,
Ooh.
like the coolest things that are happening and coming up, ideas.
Speaking of, did you see the new? Are you familiar with Monument Valley, the iOS Android game? Oh,
No,
it's
I'm
gorgeous! It's this awesome puzzle game. It's very MC Escher.
Okay.
Here, I'll
What's it called?
Monument Valley,
Monument Valley.
and it's this puzzle game. Here, I'm pulling it up right now. I'll show it to you. But they've made a VR game that looks incredible. Like it's one of the few. So here's what the game looks like. And so like you have all these things, right? You try to get this little white girl to like the different places.
Okay.
It's really good. It's
Being
kind of
racist or what?
no, it's just because she's white. See,
Oh.
she's a little white like triangle. It's a little expensive for a game, but it's no micropayments or anything. So yeah, I think it's worth the $7 or $8.
Oh yeah. I thought you were gonna say like 15 or 20.
Oh no, it's under 10.
Yeah, I think anything under 10, if it doesn't have microtransactions and is got some real play, like at least 8 hours of good play, I'm happy with it.
I also picked up this other game. This is completely tangential, called Framed.
Okay.
And it's another puzzle game, but what it is it gives you all these different. So you're like a guy running from the cops. Like it's very
Ooh.
stylized, and it gives you this
Is it
puzzle.
side scroller or like what was Treasure Runner? What was that game where you ran forward?
Oh, Temple Run. Temple Run.
Temple Run.
No,
Run.
what it does is so it'll show you like this picture on your phone, and it's broken up into different blocks, and you have to arrange the blocks and click play, and it creates a scene. You have to create the scene to get the guy to get to the end of the scene safely.
Like a comic book, and you got to put the panels in the right place.
Kind of, and like so, like and some of them there'll be stairs and doors, so you have to get them to go through the the stairs the right way and the door the right sequences. It's really fun. I think it cost me like $2, and it's been a good like just sit there like playing it while you're watching TV kind of deal.
Those are my kind of games. Faster Than Light was that kind of game for me. I was gonna ask you though, since we're talking about video games and like mobile games, have you played? God, what are they called? You see them on YouTube all the time now. Those like beach battle, Clash of Clans, whatever they are. The one has like the pretty girl, and one has like the goofy dudes that are attacking like a flamethrower in the commercials.
Right.
Whatever that game is. Have you ever played any of those kind of games?
I've never played. I haven't played Clash of Clans, which is the one that Kate Upton advertises.
Right. Okay.
And I tried to play the MOBA, there's a cell phone MOBA.
Wow,
It's really stupid because it's like one lane, and that thing lasted on my phone like 3 hours because the notifications were just crazy on it.
Really?
Yeah, it was like every
I don't think I
15
can believe
minutes. It was like just gone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have all the notifications for almost all of my apps turned off, except for Facebook gets a blue light that flashes. No noise, no vibration, just a little blue light that flashes like every 5 seconds in the notification thing. And then text messages get a beep. Beep. That's it. That's all I get. One little beep and a yellow light that flashes.
Yeah, the only app that I really let like give me notifications besides Twitter and text.
Can I take a guess?
Go for it.
ESPN.
No.
Oh.
Actually, I highly recommend the Yahoo Sports app. It's so much better than ESPN's.
ESPN's like completely losing their. I mean, this is tangential too, but they kind of suck now as like a sports network.
They kind of do.
Yeah, they've kind of turned into like a TMZ almost of sports.
Well, it's their. I read this article. Something like it's $4 billion a year just for the sports content. That's what they pay, just for the sports that they show, and nothing else. None of the crew, none of the actual people calling the games, none of the other things. And so they're kind of having to cut back on talent because they can't afford it anymore.
Oh.
Because it's $4 billion just for the rights. It doesn't cost, whatever it costs them to get people there and interviews and.
Whew. That is expensive.
Yeah, and it's it's the fact that people are either cutting the cord or a lot of people who are like 5 years younger than us, maybe a little bit younger than that, are what they're calling cord nevers. So they've never had cable. They grew up with
Right.
YouTube, and so they expect to be able to stream everything. They have Sling, or they don't. Or most of them just have like Netflix and YouTube and Twitch, and that's all they need.
That's all they need.
That's all you really need for the most part.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how like my son's generation, the 2-year-old,
Uh-huh.
will never not know a world with interactive screens.
Yeah.
Like the technology will grow up with him pretty much. Like by the time he's 15 or 16, by the time he's old enough, like TVs and stuff, like the computers will start being touchscreen, or our world itself will start to be touched. Like we're going to start augmenting the reality itself. And you listen to the podcast and then you realize those kind of things. So you start like observing, and it's like, that's true. My son automatically like screens to him they're not foreign at all.
Well, yeah.
Like they're not a novelty. They're just an expected reality.
But I think it's
even
even more so than that, because like my littlest brother, right? He's 13. So the original iPhone came out when he's 12. So when he was 4. So he really doesn't really remember a world without touch devices like that. He's always had a DVR.
Yeah, but I'm talking about from his development. From like a 2-year-old, when he's developing who he is as he's defining his reality.
It will be with screens.
He consumes his media not through the TV, but through the iPad.
Right.
Or through his mom's cell phone. Or, it's on the screen, but we're collectively watching that, where he can watch what he wants. And he can interact, and he can move from app to app, and he knows what buttons to push. During his development, at the same time he's learning how to talk and walk and interact and be a human, to be a creature in this reality of this weird third dimension, that we've created. He's never not known it. It's part of him. And that is a little different than even your brother, and especially us.
Oh, especially us.
Isn't that strange? It's so weird, like... And after they mention it, it's like if somebody told you to look out for like Volkswagen Beetles, or if you bought a Volkswagen, you would realize like, damn, there's a lot of Volkswagens on the road, because you become conscious of them.
Right.
It's like I just watch him I notice him interacting with screens all the time now. I'm like, how often are you on this? Like, what's going on? I don't know. It's a strange thing, man.
I was talking to my boss last week about this, and since you and him have a kid about the same age, I shot this at him. I was like, look, I think there's a really good chance your youngest child will never drive a car.
Oh, my 2-year-old will probably never drive a car. Right?
Isn't that a weird thought process?
It is a very strange thing.
Because by the time you won't even be 45 by the time he's able to get a driver's license, or much less a learner's permit. So by the time we hit our mid 40s, driving could be completely obsolete. That is just. You see that Apple is making their own car?
I did see that Apple is making their own car.
And I'm not sure if it's like. They said it's electric, but I don't know if it's one of those things where like they're going to partner with somebody and they're going to build all the interior while another like a actual car company, air quotes actual car company, is building like the mechanics and they're building the brains, but they just tripled or quadrupled the team and they want it out by 2019.
Wow, that's aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, they just like, I think either went from 200 to 600 or 600, 1,800 people in this team. Like
Really?
design,
Like,
yeah.
look, let's get this done like NASA did.
Yeah.
How'd they do it? Buckets of money.
Just, if there's a problem,
yeah, just the whole bucket of money will take care of that problem.
just pour money on it till it goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, just buckets of money. One way to do things. That's crazy. Did you hear that there's since we're talking about self-driving cars, kind of, we got on this little tangent again. We were explaining to people what we were going to do with the podcast. But anyway, that Belgium, we may not end up doing that at all because we're really bad at it. I'm just letting y'all know.
I think if we started to think about the podcast in that sort of way.
But anyway, in Belgium, or not Belgium, some Netherlands or Baltic-like state over in that area, right?
Right.
That's right?
No, it's not. It's a Scandinavian. Baltics are more like.
I thought that was like Germany and...
No. Baltics are more like old Russia.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anyway.
Oh, that's right, because they were the rich. Anyway, some country over there, they're actually going to be introducing the like driverless like pod public
I saw
transportation
that.
like stuff. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait till Uber's got like, or an Uber-like company buys, 1 million Google cars or something and starts running driverless taxi service. How long until you don't ever even own a car?
I think I said this on the last podcast. The Uber CEO said he would buy the moment they get self-driving cars. He's going to buy the first 500,000 Teslas that are produced
There you
for
go.
Uber, which is weird. So this Uber explosion, gig economy, the whole thing, it's gonna end in like 4 years. Like all these people who've been making serious money driving Ubers are going to be out of a job in 4 years.
They made the company and will be fired.
Yeah,
Very much like Netflix.
very much.
There's only like 1 or 2% of the people who started Netflix still work there. Like
But
Netflix has one of the most aggressive turnovers in the world.
And Netflix is a fairly old company, as
Yeah.
things go. But I saw something interesting. It's like the disc subscription service for Netflix is down to like 3%. So
Of their total like service?
of all of their subscriber base.
Right, yeah. Who does it? Do you get it? You get DVDs?
No, God, no, I haven't gotten DVDs or Blu-rays.
6 years? 7 years?
At least probably about 3 years.
Yeah, you would hold out a little longer than most people.
Well, it took me a while to actually get internet that would really do it,
Take advantage of Netflix.
Right.
That was an issue.
And I could still stream and do other things,
Yes, right.
And plus, not saying I did this, allegedly, if you're really trying to build like a nice, ripped library of Blu-rays, it's a really cheap way to do it.
Oh, so that's true. Just think about that.
I did not do that. I thought about it, but I did not do that. Because that's the kind of person I am.
Yeah, you're a good guy like that, right?
Well, I know, but I'm just saying I think about terrible ways to exploit
Yes,
the
you do
loophole.
constantly go, hey man, we can. I'm like, whoa, hey, don't. You're on public airwaves. They could hear us. Don't talk about this. They're not gonna bother us. Okay. We're just talking hypothetically here. I know.
Hypothetically speaking.
I don't know what you do with the body. Don't ask me these questions. But if you were gonna ask me hypothetically, I think pigs are the best way to go.
I could see that. Yeah.
So, today's the last day of summer.
Today's the last day of summer.
Yep, going into fall.
Yeah, it's starting to feel a little bit like fall up here.
Yeah. It is down here for Texas, but that's only because the shadows have changed. It has nothing to do with the temperature. Still 96 degrees today. 98 degrees or whatever it was. But the sun was in a slightly different position, so I know it's a different time of the year.
Right.
That's how I know.
Yeah, I was driving to work yesterday. It was 48 degrees.
Oh.
It was
that's
so
getting there.
nice.
That's getting there.
But, in 2 months, it's going to be like 4. So
Fuck you, man. Why do y'all live there?
because no one else would give me a fucking job.
It's because where the boats landed. Why did we all start there? Why didn't y'all start lower down? Florida's awesome. Why can't Florida have New York? Why is it the other way around?
Well, it's actually New York is more for where industry started to settle. Because, it was a more centralized location for the time.
Right.
Because, I mean, they were colonizing Florida in like the 1520s, something like that. Like but that was where the Spaniards were. So it wasn't as much of a, I guess it wasn't, I mean, it wasn't going to be a part of the Union because that's where the original 13 cut off was Florida. So it was Georgia was the last original 13.
But why then? Well, yeah, but it's just like why didn't Georgia take off? It's way prettier than New York.
It
way
is
cooler.
way
Like
prettier.
the weather's better. I guess I don't know. Maybe harbors or something have something to do with it.
And if you get into like Athens, Georgia, that's sort of inland. It's where University of Georgia is. It is gorgeous.
Universities usually tend to be in gorgeous spots.
Yeah, except for Stillwater.
Yeah.
I love Stillwater and I love the flat. I do. I love the plains, but it's kind of ugly. Or Lubbock. Oh, have you ever been to Lubbock?
Now you're talking ugly. Because they don't even get the sunsets that Oklahoma does.
No. Yeah, it's there's an old saying about Texas Tech. It's where the farmers send their pigs to school and their daughters to market.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So you want to talk about that kid with the bomb?
Sure.
We can do current events a little bit.
I'm going to do current events a little bit.
Opinions?
I'm still waiting for everything to flush out to some respects.
Uh-huh.
Because I've started to see some... Because, well, one, he didn't build the clock. He just changed the case. So that's come out.
Okay.
And
yeah, I know a lot of this, too.
I've started to see some stories leak out that it was intentional. Don't know if that's true. And if that's true, the kid should go to fucking jail.
Wow. I feel like the whole thing's set up. Doesn't the whole thing itself feel a little strange?
It feels...
Not just on his part, but the whole interactions. Oh, you thought it was a bomb, but all you did was just handcuff him and interrogate him and like take him to jail. Like you didn't evacuate the school. You didn't think it was enough of a bomb to like worry about it. People are walking around taking pictures. If I thought something was a bomb,
call the fucking bomb squad.
Running, not just kind of like, holy shit, we're all gonna die. Get out. Because in my mind, it's like set to go off now, like right now. He brought it in the classroom for it to go off now, not later. He's gonna be like, hey, look what I built. That would just be some smart S13 showing you the bomb that's gonna kill you. You know what I mean? Like, if you really thought it was a bomb, the whole thing just seems fishy. Well, it seems very wag the dog to me.
It does. Okay, I'm going to hit one thing, then I'm going to come back to that because...
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing that pissed me off about this is no one gave a shit when the 8-year-old in, I think it was Georgia or somewhere, um, ate his Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun, then got arrested for that, handcuffed, taken downtown.
I heard about that story. Like it became a topic, but I don't think that's quite the same. Is it?
It's just as stupid. And no one gave a shit because it was a white kid. No one gave a shit that there was a 13-year-old girl in the same school district who got arrested for wearing an NRA shirt to school in the same school district. So that's
weird.
The only reason people care is he's a Muslim. That's the only reason people care. If it was a white kid, no one would give a shit. It would have been a blurb on the evening.
It wouldn't be as clickbaity. It wouldn't be as big a deal. Yeah, I agree with you there. It would be a story. It wouldn't have stuck around for a full week. It wouldn't have made it to the White House. It wouldn't have become this. But we can. I mean, we're all adults here. We can admit that the Muslim topic is a hotbed. Like it adds a certain amount of fuel to any topic.
Of course it does. It just
that annoys you.
It annoys me because people get all outraged because it's a smart kid doing something, but they don't care when it happens.
I did that at like 6. I don't know why everybody's impressed what he did. I took like a walkie-talkie and a clock apart and put them together. And anytime you push the walkie-talkie, it turned the clock off, so the time stopped. So you could use it as like some type of rough guesstimate to how long you were talking. I was like, and that was just taking things apart and like just hooking wires up to resistors, or just to like like the things inside the motherboard until it just stopped working, or would work, or just different things. It's like it's not that impressive.
It's not. And let's be honest, we were all building bombs at 7.
Sure. Sure.
It's like
right?
4th of July, and you just get all the fireworks to start shoving them into one container.
I might have done that, and then thrown him at Jacob. Like that could have happened.
That wasn't until 15. Come on.
Yeah, we were a little older. We were shooting. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay, so
the thing that got me though is like they were like he built a clock. I'm like, that's pretty impressive. Like, how do you mistake that for a thing? And then for a bomb, because I thought they meant like he built because there's kits that you can buy. You can go buy a kit where you have to put together a clock.
Right.
I was like, okay, I thought he did that, and then I thought, well, maybe it was like one of those LCD kit clocks. Where it's got all the little different parts. You got to hook up the different resistors, and it'll make like a little thing work. But then I saw the picture, and I was like, that looks really professional for a kid. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily the wiring, but like the board itself. It was like really well soldered. I was like, did he do that? Because I've soldered a little bit. It's really hard.
It's really hard.
It's really hard to make it look. I mean, it's not hard to get functional soldering done. Like, we can all get like a connection made, and you can, it'll work. But those really pretty ones that you see on like boards, most of those are done by like either Chinese people, like Vietnamese, Korean people that are sitting underneath a magnifying glass with really specialized soldering guns, and they've done it.
Most of them are robots.
For thousands of hours, or the really small ones are done with robots. Yeah. I've actually seen there's a plant in Houston where they solder, like they've got those big things that you like put makeup on, or you build, and they're sitting there with soldering guns. These little bitty girls, these Vietnamese girls, and there's hundreds of them, and they're working on little bitty computer chips, and they're doing. I'm like, wow, because I've soldered. It's not easy.
It's not easy. And when someone can do it well, it's kind of cool to watch, because you're just like, cool it's pretty impressive.
I saw the YouTube video where the guy's like, you want to see how he made the clock? How he made the clock, and he takes with the $12 like Walmart clock that they think the guts came out of, and he takes the base off. He's like, and then he takes and he pulls the whole thing out, and then he lays it into a briefcase. And I was like, wow, that looks remarkably similar. Like, I don't know. My first reaction when I even heard the story was like, oh, that's weird. Because you see the picture, and it's like, well, that seems overreaction. Like that seems like they overreacted. But then it gave me, give it an hour, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. This seems really fishy. Like, the whole thing seems fishy. And that was with like 0% of the story. Now that a lot of the stories come out, I'm like, oh, this is, I don't know. It seems very wag the doggish. Like, what else happened this week that we missed?
Yeah.
What's got signed? Where did somebody move something important? Like, something happened.
Let's see, and this is the conspiracy theorist slash person who just loves a really good story. In
Yeah,
me,
me and you both.
and part of me would not. So we've had some like really big. Okay, even though gun violence in the United States has dropped in half since 1990, we've had some pretty big, mass shootings kind of deals, right? So we had the Aurora shooting. We've had all these big time shootings here recently, and they're all really similar kids. If you look at them, they all look kind of the same.
Uh-huh.
And part of me is like, I really think these kids all ended up at the same summer camp for gifted kids at one point and are just ticking time bombs. Like,
I don't know. Something feels very fishy.
yeah.
Or maybe it's more of a mathematical equation. And it's a lot of things line up to create that certain person. And the things that line up to create that certain person are usually very similar. And it creates a very similar entity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's more like it almost feels matrixy. Because it just feels like they pop up and they're, I don't know. It feels almost Truman Show like.
Well,
you know?
another thing I think is a really big issue with this is social media. Is if someone does it, they know they're getting fame or infamy or however you want to put it. They're going to be tweeted and retweeted. Like, if you see like shit going down on social media, don't retweet, don't repin, don't do anything. It's just feeding into the psychoses of most of these people.
It's a really weird thing. It's a really weird thing. Because I like knowing.
Well, you do too, but like it's one thing where it's, CNN, poof, tweet, there's been a shooting, da da da. But it's another thing when 100 million people are already giving hot takes on the entire issue and talking about why the kid is right or wrong, or because there's always someone on the internet who's going to support you, no matter how nutbaggy you are. Someone on the internet's going to think you had a pretty good idea.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think we should have all of the retweet and repin, and we should find those people out. And like cancer, we should have anonymous, and people like us and other people should have swarmed them like white blood cells. Like I've recently become very is the wrong word, but I've become aggressive on Facebook. Not very aggressive, but aggressive. Like if somebody posts something stupid, instead of just like letting it slide and going, well, I knew that guy was kind of stupid anyway. I'll just post something like, I'll just Snopes it. I'll just take the image, reverse Google image search it, and the first thing that'll pop up will be like Snopes or some like disprove this, and I'll just post that. I'll just like paste that as a reply, or like that looks Photoshopped to me. And people on Facebook, it's not Photoshop, blah, 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 blah. And then like, 4 posts later, you just like post the Snopes. You know what I mean? Or you point out the obvious. It's like, you don't think it's Photoshopped? That's a Saturn in the background. And a 90s like pickup truck. Like that's like a 30-year-old picture. Like, and it's talking about today's topic. They could have used at least a today's picture, but they didn't because they used an old grainy picture. So it'd be easier to Photoshop and be harder to tell that it was actually shopped and stuff. It's like, pay attention. It's just weird to see people from the internet and not from the internet. It's like, we need to call out more of the fake and gay, man. People need to call out the fake and gay.
So here's the question for you. Is your first response like mine when you see a picture on the internet to go, oh, that's Photoshopped? Like you wait for someone to prove that it isn't Photoshopped?
Yeah, especially the miraculous stuff. Yeah, I mean, I was one of those guys, because I'm not really from the internet per se, like my little brothers or my kids or my youngest for sure, right? I'm not quite there. But I'm still young and malleable enough that I quickly kind of got absorbed and adapted to the internet. But when I was younger, I'd watch YouTube videos and be like, oh, crap, that's amazing. And then you look in the comments and it's fake and gay, fake and gay, fake and gay. And it's like, oh, it's fake? And then you go back and you watch it carefully and you're like, oh, yeah, I guess the physics do look a little off, or the splash does look. And now I've gotten so trained because I don't want to be one of the guys who gets caught thinking it's real and then, be disproved, because it's a horrible feeling. Then my first reaction is like, oh, that's fake. And then I'm like trying to look really carefully like, well, maybe it's not. Like I'm having to prove it's fake. I mean, real instead of proving that it's fake now. Yeah, I'm one of those people. For sure.
I just everyone's got an agenda. Everybody's got an agenda.
Yeah, I've gotten real good at, I've got, I guess it's just getting older. I've just gotten cynical. It's like nothing's for free. Everybody's got an agenda. You know what I mean? Like, don't accept candy from strangers. They're just,
I'm just gonna sit at home and watch Netflix because the real world sucks.
I will say this though. I am a little disappointed as being an adult. I get offered a lot less free weed than I was led to believe as a child. They made it believe like I could just walk through the mall and get a joint. I wish that was true.
They moved to the right part of the country. It probably is. Or at least you know exactly where to go.
Mm.
Ugh.
Hmm. What other current events? What other interesting things happen?
Well,
Not just the kid.
there's the presidential election. Shit's going on.
That'll have to be like an actual different politics like segment that we bring in during politics season. Which it's politics season.
It's always politics season.
Well, yeah, but I mean, come on, not like heavy like Donald Trump and stuff. Kind of cool politics. So what is your takes on it so far? Just a throwaway line. What do you think?
I think on the Republican side, I like Carly. I like what she's doing. I think she's got a good shot. I like what she's saying.
I do too, but I don't think she's got a shot.
I think she's got a legit shot.
At
at least the nomination.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. And then what else?
I don't think Hillary's making it to January 1st. I
No,
really don't.
I think that ship is sinking fast. It like never made it out of the harbor.
You know it's bad. Because the whole email scandal, right, still kind of floating around.
Right?
The FBI's like, they are refusing to help Congress. It's that high up. You know it's high up when the FBI's like, nope, not touching it. We're not sending any agents near there because we know what happens. They're gonna die. That's just what's gonna happen.
Interesting.
And
Yeah, I think Bernie Sanders is surprising. Like, I'm really surprised at the steam he's picking up.
he
I'm
is.
like, wow.
He's just like the Wall Street Journal had an article about how much all of his initiatives that he's proposed so far would cost. It's like $16 trillion. It's like, we can't afford that, man.
It's a sinking ship. If we could spend $16 trillion, though, and build, like, a new highway infrastructure, a space elevator, get off of foreign oil and become self-efficient, like, with solar farm. Like, if we spent $16 trillion for the next 100 years, that'd be awesome. But it would be bad to spend $16 trillion and distribute that wealth.
Well, they're talking about spending that $16 trillion in, like, 4 years. Yeah, which is like greater than like if they were to tax every dollar made in the U.S. kind of spending. But so okay, you talk about oil. So here's an interesting thing: is the Republicans are releasing a bill because there's so much excess oil right now.
Yeah,
and it is basically technically illegal for any oil drilled in the U.S. to be sold outside of it. So you can't sell like your oil to Mexico from Texas. And
interesting. No exports.
No exports. It's from the 70s during the whole energy crisis, and they're trying to repeal it. They're saying it would add like just in Texas alone like 60,000 new jobs because even though oil prices would drop, the demand would go up. So the demand would go up, and you could just like start moving oil. So it'd be interesting. Oh, another cool thing about energy is these guys from Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they were working on solar panels, right? And as things get hotter, especially like electronics and that kind of stuff, they lose efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
What they figured out is they figured out this like it's like a biomembrane or some kind of plastic or something they put over the top that reflects the heat of the sun, but allows the light to pass through, and it's like an extra 2% more efficient, which is
nice.
Insane and solar panels.
Nice.
Yeah, so I saw that. I was like, oh, that's clever.
I know they got like another like 8% out of the artificial leaf. It's up to like 12% or something, which is pretty cool. Like if we can get artificial leaves up to, 70, 80, 90%, that'd be awesome.
Cool. It's like
Oh.
start sticking them in you. Just like
Um,
become half plant.
I think the coolest thing they've talked about at all, though, if we're talking about solar panels, the coolest thing that anybody's ever mentioned is the transparent ones. So the buildings become energy, they become a power factor. What the hell is that called? Where you
Power
make
plants?
energy? Huh?
Power plants.
I guess, right? So every, the Empire State Building becomes one of the biggest power plants in the world because it's this giant, like, wall of...
If they could ever make them, if you could make them non-reflective, that's the big deal.
No, transparent. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
light goes through and it collects the energy. Oh, it'd be like tinted. On the other side, it'd be much more dark than the other side, but,
Right.
all the energy that goes through gets collected and stuff. So it helps, keeps the buildings cool and also generates...
Because that's a hard thing with like solar farms right now, is they can't be in like flight paths and everything else because they reflect and can, they can nuke, like literally nuke, like cook birds and
Oh, they could cut an airplane in half if they flew through the congregation point or whatever it is. But that's that's supposed to be collected with like one of those big mirrors that reflects back down into the actual.
God, I thought about it
Water.
because I actually started to write a business plan for a solar farm, and I was just like, that wouldn't be so bad. Just move out, buy like 10,000 acres in
Wouldn't that be
Arizona,
awesome? Wouldn't that be
just
awesome?
have 4-wheelers and
Just keep the motors and everything running. Hire
Yeah.
some people that maintain everything for you.
because
Ugh.
at
We're
current
talking, Jake. I'll do it. Let's do
at
it.
current rebuy rates,
I'll live in the desert with you.
you
do
only
acid.
need to
I mean-
spend $100,000 to make $100,000.
Oh, what? How does that work? So you break even?
You would break even in the first like 6 months, if I remember my math right.
Wow, that's actually really good.
And see, but then what you start doing is you start, especially if you can get it in like sort of a cool spot, you're like, hey, guess what, guys? Solar powered everything, and start like selling it to people and selling the electricity to, because what I would do is I would say, hey, we're gonna build you a, like an industrial park, and we're just gonna make all your manufacturing, like every car manufactured in the U.S. is now solar. And just
Oh,
put it
I
in
like that idea.
Arizona, and
That's a cool idea.
it's kind of like the gigafactories, like Teslas. They're all 100% renewable,
No, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
Which
not
is-
surprised, but I didn't know that.
which is something to say because they're huge, like 4 million square feet.
One building.
One building, largest. The gigafactory that they are building in Reno is the single largest manufacturing facility in the world.
That's incredible.
At least square footage. I don't. It's
Right.
It's not like where they built the space shuttles that are 300, 400 feet tall. Whatever.
Those things are crazy. Those giant, yeah.
Did you see? I think we might have talked about this, but did you see the guy on Reddit who snuck into the old Soviet shuttle
No,
facility? Oh, I'll find it real quick.
really, like went like urban exploring in an old shuttle.
It was
If y'all don't know, for the people listening, Google urban explorers. Those guys are crazy, and they find some awesome spots, like completely abandoned subway stations that are that got giant murals and awesome paintings and
I
brass
saw
fixtures and stuff.
I saw one of some guys who got into the Astrodome.
Oh,
Like the
Really?
the livestock show and rodeo was going on, and the fence was down, so they just went exploring.
wow! I guess that's trespassing, huh?
Oh yeah. Let's see if I can't find the actual link. I found some of them. Yeah, this will do. This will do. It's the crazy thing about Russia, man. There's just these like old facilities just decaying.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars. Do what?
They did do that. They did do some weird shit like that. But America's done some stuff like that too. I mean, there's been a lot of things that have just kind of gone broke. Oh, is this supposed to be a Reddit post?
Well, it's from Business Insider, but someone posted it on Reddit, but they were re-showing the pictures. It was the
Oh,
first
I
link I
see.
found.
Oh, wow. I didn't know the Russians had a shuttle.
Yeah, they never launched.
Take a drone with them?
I don't know. I think it's just a SLR.
Just got an interesting aerial photos of that. That's cool. Wow, look at the crane.
Hold on
Anyway,
just a
this makes
second.
awesome radio.
Hold on just a second. Uh,
Uh-oh.
you,
I'm
you,
turning into a robot. Is it me or you?
I don't know. I don't know. Here, let me do that. See if it.
Is my up okay?
Yeah, we're good now. We're good now. I just had to turn off my
I
video
did
there.
fix it. Yeah, we
Let's
did
see.
fix it.
Sometimes all you gotta do is turn the video on and off again to fix it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was kind of cool. You turned into like
Turning.
a
You
robot.
try turning it on and off again.
Those posts and people with people in IT industry. They're like, most of my job is just turning things off and back on.
Have you ever actually watched the IT crowd?
No, I don't even know what that is.
It's where that have you tried turning it off and on again meme started.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's on Netflix. It's a British show, so it's got that real dry humor.
I
and it's
love
just-
British humor.
It
if it's
is
good.
hilarious.
Yeah. If it's good, I like it.
Oh, it's like there's this one episode where one of the guys is involved in these like high stakes underground boggle games and just random funny shit. It's great.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's still definitely worth a watch. It was one of those shows I found on Netflix way back in the day. Like Oklahoma blizzard rolled in, so I had nothing to do. So I was just scrolling through Netflix looking for random shit to watch. I'm like, the IT crowd, that looks funny. Click. Knew nothing about it.
Oh.
2009.
I got an interesting subject for you, Mr. Capitalist.
All right.
What do you think about that? What the internet is calling the scumbag CEO?
Oh, the guy
who
who
bought
bought all
the,
the patents and jacked the rates.
Like 700%.
Yeah, I mean that's a dick move.
I like it. I think, yeah, it's really strange. I think the medical industry somehow should be excluded from capitalism, but I don't know how.
Well, no, it's
Like, not necessarily capitalism totally, but like there
right.
should be a rule against this, right?
Well, probably yes, but if no one can afford it, there's no point in jacking the prices. And
Yeah, you say that casually with people's lives, though.
right, but
I mean, I know
No.
a true free market system would find the actual value of a life per value of the like it would, but maybe as a group of humans,
but there's also, I mean,
value of life should be higher than that.
capitalism just isn't as much money as you can make. There is a social responsibility aspect to it. You should
There should
not
be.
be an ass. You should not be an asshole. You just
Yeah.
shouldn't.
That's how I agree.
Just don't
Wow. So the total of all of the different patents that he raised, they're saying around 5,000% increase in cost.
I just like. I mean, he
That's
didn't
a
buy him
lot.
for that much, right?
No. The patents were very old. It's one. I think it's one of those things where he just did it. Where like people let patents roll off and they don't think about it or something. Because I don't think he spent that much.
Right, and see
And the
thing,
old patents he was selling, old pills were like $11, and now they're like $700.
but it wasn't in the U.S., was it? They were international patents.
I just started to see the internet start talking about it in the last 2 days, and I have not taken the effort to actually like figure out what's going on. The only thing that I thought was really interesting is that he owns a Counter-Strike or a Dota team.
And all three,
Oh, he
three of
does?
the big ones.
Yeah, and a league.
So that because with my very limited understanding of U.S. patent law, that could not happen.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's a law. It's an issue with other patent laws.
International.
Yeah, because I
Which does
mean,
get cloudy.
it does get cloudy.
Does get weird. It's not very black and white there.
Yeah, yeah,
Or it's very black and white. There's just a million different versions of both black and white. It's just-
right. And did he buy the patents or did he just buy the remaining stock of the pills? Because I don't know how the
Oh.
buying the patents, unless it's for new pills to be produced. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it was just he bought the patents and then to produce the pills he jacked the rates and now they're hitting the market and that's why it's coming through. Like I just saw, like I saw Reddit was bitching about on it on the Dota 2 Reddit, but that's about all I've seen about it. Because I don't see how buying a patent would you couldn't jack the prices overnight for just buying the patent, because the already produced stock was produced at a certain price. So this almost has to be like a super rare drug that he bought the entire stock of the drug, remaining stock of the drug, and then jacked the rates, or he bought the patents a little while ago and then jacked the rates, and now those new rates are hitting the market. It has to be almost one of those two things. Again, from my very limited knowledge of the U.S. patent and
Right.
international
I
patent
was just
system.
looking really close to see if I couldn't figure out how it worked. It looks like he might have bought the company.
Oh, well, that's completely. Well, that's a whole different. Well, it's not
Yeah,
really.
it looks
It's
like
not really
he's
a horse of a.
He's a hedge fund manager, and I think they might have just bought a controlling share in
Does he?
turning pharmaceuticals.
Okay. Well, that's a bit more straightforward. Still an asshole move, but more straightforward than buying the patents or whatever.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. A little bit easier. He didn't actually buy the patents. He just bought the company that owns the patent.
Right. It's
And
not
you don't have to
like
worry about it.
right.
Mhm. Well, we'll look into it. If it still is a subject next week, we'll discuss it in current topics or current events or something.
I think it was like in the 1870s, the head of the U.S. Patent Office said, "Everything that has been invented and will be invented, and we should shut down the
We
patent
should.
office."
We're good here, boys. Let's just call it.
That's
But
some-
I remember being 13 and having the same thoughts. Like, what else could they come up with? Like, I remember being, when you're like 14, 15, and you feel like you're just the smartest person on the fucking planet. Like, you're just the smartest person on the planet. Like, you just got it all figured out. And I was like, I get it. Yeah, I don't think they could come up with anything. It's like, no. Yes, they can. Just wait. Just wait 10 years, you stupid child. You silly child. Wait 15 years. Double your life and see how different the world is.
Now, if you want to really, really like help the U.S. out in general, we need like hardcore patent reform. It's way too easy to troll. It's way
Yeah.
too easy to screw
Yeah.
things up. It's way too easy to sue, and it's too hard to protect. Like it's
Yeah.
it's messed up.
It's all messed up. It really is. And what's really interesting is like some things they're really aggressive about protecting and certain things they aren't. And certain things they let people like come up with the weirdest patents. Like one company has a patent on having your files on the internet in sequence. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like so what we are doing technically would be like under somebody else's patent.
Right.
I think Adam Carolla actually ended up winning that lawsuit. But there was a whole patent troll on podcasting. Like we almost lost podcast due to a patent.
Right, and that's I think it's too easy to patent things, and so many patents are there and can be bought for next to nothing, and then tweaked a little bit and resubmitted, and yeah, it's bad. And what's also really funny is the most active patent court in the country is out in Marshall, Texas.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
it's something about the judge out there, man. Like, if you're pretty much if you're fighting a patent case, you start it out in East Texas.
Okay.
It's
The judge is on our side or on their side?
it really kind of depends. Let's see.
Oh, he's just real fair? I'm okay with fair. I'm okay with that. You don't have to be just on my side. You just can't be on just their side.
Oh no, it looks like it's on their side. Here, I'll send you the link. It's an Ars Technica article.
Cool.
Oh man, in sort of personal history, today is kind of a funny day. And I'm sure you've seen the clip if you've watched any form of sports, but today is the 8th anniversary of Mike Gundy's I'm a Man speech. Have you seen this?
I have not.
Oh, it always makes ESPN's top 10 coaching meltdowns of all time. We'll get you the YouTube. It put him on the map. What happened is this reporter for one of the newspapers in Oklahoma just went after one of the quarterbacks, and he's just pissed the fuck off.
In defense of his own
defense
quarterback?
of the quarterback, yeah, because something I've especially now that I've gotten a little bit farther out of college is like these college quarterbacks are 20 years old and they're children. It's like I barely.
I'm
didn't
30
know
and I'm just now feeling like I finally stopped developing and started like maturing.
Remember yourself, and some of these like true freshmen are 18 years old and playing in front of 100,000 fans. That's
Weird.
tough.
That's weird.
So, but yeah, we'll watch this, and so all the people out in YouTube land can or podcast land can hear the awesome rant from Mike Gundy.
All right. Let me let it load up a little bit. You know how mine is.
And what's funny is if you look at Oklahoma State football, this moment is when they started to get good. Like the recruiting started to get better.
Oh, the recruiting probably picked up, right?
Oh yeah, because the mamas were like that man, he cares.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, you want to go ahead and do this?
All right, let's do it.
Are you at 0?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, play. I want to talk about this article right here. So he's just tearing the reporters an asshole or something?
Yeah.
I think this is worth reading. Let me tell you why I want to talk about this article. 3/4 of this is inaccurate. It's fiction. And this article embarrasses me to be involved with athletics tremendously. And that article had to have been written by a person that doesn't have a child and has never had a child that's had their heart broken and come home upset and had to deal with the child when he is upset and kick a person when he's down. Here's all that kid did. He goes to class. He's respectful to the media. He's respectful to the public. And he's a good kid. And he's not a professional athlete. And he doesn't deserve to be kicked when he's down. If you have a child someday, you'll understand how it feels. But you obviously don't have a child. I do. If your child goes down the street and somebody makes fun of him because he dropped a pass in a pickup game or says he's fat, and he comes home crying to his mom, you'd understand. But you haven't had that. But someday you will.
I think he's talking to someone.
You'll understand.
Yeah, she's in the audience.
If you want to go after an
Yeah,
athlete,
I think he's
one of
tearing
my
someone
athletes,
specific.
you go after one that doesn't do the right things. You don't downgrade him because he does everything right and may not play as well on Saturday. And you let us make that decision. That's why I don't read the newspaper. Because it's garbage. And the editor that let it come out is garbage.
Editor that let
Attacking
that come
an
out
amateur
is
athlete
garbage.
for doing everything right. And then you want to write articles about guys that don't do things right and downgrade them, the ones that do make plays. Are you kidding me? Where are we at in society today? Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid.
I'm a man.
About me
40.
or our coaches. We'll write about a kid that does everything right, that's heart's broken, and then say that the coaches said he was scared. That ain't true. And then to say
That
that
ain't
we
true.
made that decision because Donovan Woods, because he threatened to transfer, that's not true! So get your facts straight. And I hope someday you have a child and
He's
somebody
pissed, dude.
downgrades them and belittles them, and you have to look them in the eye and say, you know what? It's okay. They're supposed to be mature adults, but they're really not. Who's the kid here? Who's the kid here? Are you kidding me? That's all I got to say. Makes me want to puke.
That was his entire press conference after that game.
Oh, that was it.
That was his
just off the mic.
entire press conference, yeah.
That
Yeah.
one guy's like, oh, that was awkward. You can see him scratch his nose. He's like, oh, I gotta write that down. Woo,
Yeah, so
yeah. I
that's-
could see how their program picked up a little bit after that.
Yeah, it did. It
I
was
wouldn't
good.
mind him being my son's coach.
Right? Not like, some of the other guys, like, old school Bobby Knight throwing chairs and shit.
I also don't mind him being my son's coach either. It is Bobby Knight.
It is Bobby Knight.
Yeah, he kind of got shit done. Turns out sometimes you maybe need to throw little chairs around. People get people's attention.
Come on, make it happen.
Ugh.
That's been like the big, because college football season, you get into it 3 weeks in, and I'm a big college football guy. That's like the one thing I've really been like internalizing is, God, they're just kids. Like they'll pan over the student section. I remember like going, "Oh wow, those girls are hot." Now it's like, "Oh wow, those girls are 12."
You noticed, huh? You do that too.
It's like, are you even old enough to be there?
Yeah, I saw an 18-year-old. My brother's 20, and he was hanging out with one of his friends. His girlfriend and one of their friend, our couple. You know what I mean? Like there was
Right,
a double
right.
date, and they were at the pool down at my grandparents or whatever, and they were hanging out cooking burgers. And she's like 18, and I was like, my brother's like, "What do you think? She's pretty cute." And I'm like, "Yeah, for my daughter." You know what I mean? It was just like this weird, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know anymore. Is she? It's like I feel weird. It's like, yeah, she's legal and all, but I don't know. It's weird. And you know what's really strange to me? This is the part that's more strange than, because I expected the young girls to get young, but MILFs don't look like MILFs anymore. They just look like girls to me. That's the worst part. That's the worst part.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like, oh, she's a hot MILF, and I'm like, oh, she's just hot.
this is hard, yeah. Like at this point, like if God forbid I were to re-enter the dating world, if I was to re-enter the dating world, like I definitely probably go a little older than a little younger.
If we're talking about dating, I'm probably going as young as I can handle, like as they'll let me go, right? But if we're talking about like looking for the next one that we're gonna marry, yeah, she'll probably be 2 or 3 years older than me. Yeah, it's like it'd be nice if she was a dentist and could take care of me. You know what I mean?
The biggest age gap I had was 8 years older.
She went crazy
She was crazy.
and a good time. Like she could throw down.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said for experience.
And on that bombshell, good night.
There's something like, everyone's like talking about like, oh, how, like the first time you had sex or whatever. I was like, God, I'm having the better sex at 2 years of marriage than I did at no years of marriage. Like,
Oh,
like the
yeah.
first like year you're having sex, like it's fun because you're doing it, but if you look back, it pretty much sucked. Let's just be honest.
It's really cool when you can tell each other like your secrets. It's like, I kind of like it when you suck on my big toe. It's like, okay, like, and you got a girl that's cool enough, like, all right, I'll suck on your big toe. You stick your other toe in me. It's like, whatever it is. And where you both can be like, okay, I'm not going to be weirded out because she's, doing what I want to do, so I'm going to do what she wants. And you can be honest and not afraid. That's when sex gets great.
It is, or especially when like you know each other's body rhythms well enough, where you're like, when you're ready to be done, she's just like poof, and it's over. It's like, yay.
Yeah, she just says a couple things that that she knows you,
or just
is dirty and
moves
you like
just
or whatever.
right.
And she moves her hips just right, and she says, just come on. And you're like, okay, all right, now. Okay, that was awesome, thanks. She's like, yeah, you're welcome. Like, wow, what a power y'all have. It's like magic. Yeah, it's cool when they know what to say. Like the little kinky, dirty things that you're like, oh, you shouldn't say that, but I like it when you do, and they let it out, and you're like, oh, good times, good times.
That's where everyone in podcast land learned way too much about our relationships.
Nah, fuck them. They want to know everything. They want to know more. They want to know what kinky things we like to hear. I think we're gonna leave it there, though. We'll just leave some to be some to the imagination. That's the same.
Yes, just a wee bit.
All right, I wanted to give
Imagination.
my recommends out real quick.
Alrighty.
Kinda soon.
All right, cool.
Getting late. So this one's pretty simple, just some entertainment. But there's a YouTube channel called let me look it up to make sure because the spelling's a little weird. But it's Zisto. Zisteau. And he's just one of those guys who, does like Let's Plays and, collabs with other people, plays Minecraft, plays Terraria. But he, if you have any kind of engineering mind, like if you ever enjoyed the games where you build bridges or skyscrapers and like, subject them to stress tests, or like any kind of sim games like that where you build airplanes or helicopters and try to make them work, he plays a game called Kerbal Space Program. And he does a series called, Kerbal Space Explosions.
Okay.
Hilarious. Like, you don't even have to be into space or rockets.
Hello,
or
Internet.
just
Welcome to Film.
It's really funny. So it's just kind of simple. Zisto. I'll spell it again real quick. Zisteau. Zisto.
I have to apologize. The YouTube autoplayed a little bit, so you can get some volume in there. I would like to recommend, especially YouTube, The Game Theorist and The Film Theorist. It's the same guy. They have a bunch of other smaller like channels, like or segments in there, but it's really good, and especially if you like really smart sort of digressions into weird things about movies. Like the one he just put out today was about Ant-Man.
Okay.
Like the new Marvel movie, and
Right.
talking about how using science and the science they said was in the movie, that at one point Ant-Man actually would have created a black hole that would have sucked the Earth in.
Okay, so it's kind of like a Vsauce where they take.
Right.
One of them was yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then like or like another one that's in there is like Frame by Frame, and it's like one of them's how to shoot drug trip movies,
Okay.
that kind of stuff, and game theory is that kind of stuff, but for video games, like why Mario is actually a sociopath.
Yeah, the bad guy.
No, not a bad guy, a sociopath. Like,
Oh, okay.
stuff like that. It's pretty good. I highly recommend it.
Awesome. Well, I feel like that was a pretty good one,
Oh,
but we're gonna have to call it quit soon.
All right, kiddos, got to go to bed.
I gotta put the kids to bed. Gotta take care of stuff.
All righty, man. Well, thanks again. Welcome.
Yep, sorry we're late.
Thanks for the 30 episodes, guys. Some of you have been very, very faithful to us, and we appreciate it.
Hell
We've been here for 30, and we're going to be here for 30 more. Hopefully, schedules start to sort of calm back down again soon, because both of our schedules the last month have just been all over the place, so it's been really hard to be consistent.
It's summer. I know a podcast that takes the whole summers off.
Yeah,
because it's so difficult to schedule around
we
summer.
probably should have done that.
Yeah, but I think it's better to give them, something. We just started like going into the summer, right?
Right. So, all right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to the 42 podcast.
Bye.